Good evening, Internet. It is Eric Arnold, the Big E, coming to you from his sports barn here on Monday night around 10 and 9 on the 3rd of February. Well, what can we say? Let's recap this weekend. We'll have a few words to say about the Iowa caucuses, and then we'll roll into some picks for Tuesday in American NCAA college basketball. Well, let's talk Super Bowl, and I got to apologize to everybody. I was wrong. It wasn't bad luck. It was simply bad handicapping. And I tell you, well, this time 24 hours ago, I was super excited because, man, I thought I had it nailed. San Francisco's got a 20-10 lead, which almost without fail historically is a win in the big game. And, you know, hats off to Andy Reid. He gets it done. Just a flat choke by the 49ers, a flat choke by Jimmy Garoppolo, a flat choke by Kyle Shanahan. But don't feel bad, guys. I'm in the loser boat with you. A flat choke by me as well. One of the tenets of handicapping football, and this works, I think, even more strongly, the bigger the game, who's the better quarterback, who's the better coach? And I knew damn well that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes probably were the better quarterback and the better coach, and I just tossed that away. I just threw it away. I said, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I watch these games. I think these teams, this San Francisco team, they're better. Look, they can run at will. They can run at will. What I always forget is it doesn't matter how well a team can run. In crunch time, they will stop themselves. NFL coaches simply will not run the ball when the chips are down. They're afraid. They're afraid. They would rather have their quarterback drop back to pass, have a ball spiked down by the 6'6" lineman, then run the ball into a line and get tackled for 1 yard and have everybody go, what'd you run there for? I think they feel that they get less criticism if they simply fail passing the ball rather than failing running the ball. But yeah, the 49ers had the lead. They simply did not run the ball. They could have run it at will. I was on Shanahan. It's on me. Reid was a superior coach. I did not see this. Probably my personal animosity towards Andy colored my thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. This is the second year in a row this has happened. I won't lie to you. I got last year's Super Bowl wrong too. Sometimes you just can't see the forest through the trees. And, well, you know, I try not to beat myself up too badly here. A couple things. This is why, you know, we're picking lots of games. Theoretically, the thinking is we're going to flat bet these games despite these rankings of 3-star, 2-star, 1-star. Earl Carey seems to think that, you know, you bet 3 times as much money on the 3-star game as you do on the 2-star, something like that. I can't, he isn't here, and I'm not going to try to replicate his thinking. But in other words, if you have a 56% winning percentage, which I do, believe it or not, even after the weekend, it's still 62-48. As long as you're not pushing all the money in on one game, you're going to win money. You're going to win money. You can win just as much money on a mid-major Wednesday night basketball game in February as you can on the Super Bowl. So let's not get beat up too bad. It's a big game. You always want to win the big game. Everybody's in on that. Everybody's watching it. So it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed, but I apologize. We will strive to do better. And perhaps when it comes around again, Garoppolo, Shanahan, and myself, we may not make the same mistakes the next time. So sometimes you gotta lose in order to win. So, there, mea culpa. All right, let's see what else old business holds. We got this one wrong. That's just a fun pick. Jesus Christ, I apologize profusely. Somebody put $1,000 on the over because I told them to. We're not even going to count that one in the record. And if counting that. We're just not. So that was a loss. Well, we'll go backwards here. George Washington, that was just didn't happen. They lose 76-54, never in it. Hey, lo and behold, that four overtime game on Wednesday night did matter. I threw that away. That doesn't matter. Loss. So I was wrong on that. This one went pretty much exactly the way I hoped it would. Auburn getting it done 75-66. A lot of crowd noise. Intimidated the referees to no end. Auburn ended up shooting some ridiculous amount of free throws. I'm sure that upset John Calipari very much. But Auburn gets it done. Troy winning outright, getting 13-14 points, 84-78. Hooray for us, 2 stars on that one. Seems like we're catching one of these, huge underdogs that just wins outright. Subscriber F, who I think bets a lot more exotics than we would normally do, he suggested that we do some kind of money line deal on some of these games, because it does seem as if we're catching, and I don't know if that's normal or it's just luck. So, something to think about. The MEAC, as you note, there was no Monday episode of this, largely because I'm just about done with the MEAC. These minor leagues, I'm starting to think are unpredictable. Coppin State totally failing, losing as a 6-point favorite, 68-77 to Delaware State. No more Delaware State. I don't want to see these guys anymore. I don't want to hear about these guys. I think I've lost to these guys way too many times. No more Delaware State. Kansas City, 17-point favorites over Chicago State. Well, actually, that was a 15, I think, if I remember right. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They covered it, 69-51. Chicago State's terrible. It's just one of those teams that, they start the game and they're already in a 10-point hole. The other team just automatically gets 10 points, I guess, or something like that. So that's the winner. Ohio, loser, 54-65. UConn, that was disappointing. UConn was right there. And I got to tell you, the bad team, the team I thought had the bad coach, acted well coached in the last 5 minutes, and the team that I thought had the good coach acted poorly, like they were poorly coached down the stretch. UConn started fouling way too soon. Memphis made all their foul shots, and what was a 1 or 2 point lead ballooned up to 7 at the end, and we lost. So, pissed off about that one. Hartford gets done for us, 55-49. And Ohio State actually came through, 68-59 at home over Indiana. So 5-5 for the weekend. Certainly not great, but, not a disaster. It didn't send us all the way plummeting back down to 500. So we're still around 55-56%. That's pretty good. What's next? Okay, Iowa. A few words about that. As I speak, the Democrats are caucusing in Iowa. If you don't give a damn about politics, just skip ahead 2-3 minutes. But it's a very important night. Whoever wins the Iowa caucuses generally has a pretty good leg up on winning that party's nomination for the presidency. Even the most non-political of you, I believe, would concur that the President of the United States does matter in some fashion to you, in some way. So, if you like Bernie Sanders, this is probably a night you're pretty well tuned in, because Bernie's got a real shot here to perhaps build a big lead for himself, and right now he's the betting favorite. If you look up the markets, he's the betting favorite to win the Democratic National nomination, Democrat Party nomination. I think what's going to happen, Bernie will win Iowa, but he's not going to win it by enough. His lead is simply not going to be overwhelming enough. The narrative, which is probably more important than how many delegates you get, the narrative is going to be whoever comes in second, which is probably going to be, almost certainly it's going to be one of Buttigieg, Biden, or Warren. whoever finishes second, that's going to be the hero. You know, that's all CNN's going to talk about. That's all NBC's going to talk about. ABC, the rest of them. You know, oh wow, Bernie, he won, but, because they all hate Bernie. So they're going to push whoever comes in second like you cannot believe. I don't know if it's going to be Biden. That guy just seems like he doesn't look well. It's a marathon to run for president, and this guy just does not look good. I know a little bit about marathoning, and you can point out the guys at mile 12 and say, that guy ain't going to make it. And he's kind of looking that way right now. So, you know, you might be looking at Warren here making a comeback. Everybody wrote her off for dead. It wouldn't surprise me if she made a push. Wouldn't surprise me if Buttigieg made a push. If Klobuchar makes a push, it doesn't really matter because she should make a push there. She's from Minnesota. I mean, right next door. She should do well. So I don't think that's that significant. If Warren does well, that's significant. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right, that's Iowa. What else do we have to say? I don't know. Let's talk college basketball on a Tuesday night. What do we got for you? We do have some games here on Tuesday for you. Whoops, we're on that other page. Let's take a breath here. No music tonight. The music is still a work in progress. The drinking is probably not a work in progress. We're probably going to try to cut that out. That just takes too much time. I don't think I'm nearly as funny as I think I am when I make those videos. And after you do it, it's just kind of a little bit embarrassing. So, you know, just maybe we'll go ahead and, you know, you just have to. My wife seems to think people watch these videos because I'm entertaining. It's like, well, yeah, okay. You did marry me, so maybe I entertain her. I'm not so sure I'm that entertaining to the rest of the world. I keep thinking that this is what will bring people back. Winning. I did a little research on the internet about people that post their records and, you know, just in half an hour search around the internet, and, you know, I didn't find anything comparable to what I'm doing. You know, I'm sure it's out there. I just didn't find it. It's out there, I'm sure. I just did not find it. I'll look again. But at any rate, all right, what do we got here? Ball State, we're in the MAC. The MAC, we're over here. We're over here Tuesday night, the 4th. Ball State, 12-9, 113 plus 4 against Kent State, 16-6, 104. Well, you know, this fits into our mid-major. We're going on the road. We're getting some points. The teams are really pretty similar. We think we got value here by getting the points, so we're going to take them. Ball State. Virginia Tech, 14-8, 84. 2.5 point underdogs at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech 10-12, 91. We're going to mix it up here a little bit. Georgia Tech has impressed us lately. They have played pretty well in a number of places, coming off a loss. They lost the last time out. But other than that, this is a team that perhaps is starting to be less of an afterthought in the ACC. And we're going to give them a shot here to really show us. We're going to give them all 1 star because we don't trust them. But they get 1 star at home to beat Virginia Tech, laying 2.5. All right, here's a game you might actually watch. Penn State, 16-5. Pomeroy says they're the 16th best team in the country. Penn State. I'd have to look it up to tell you the last time they were in the NCAA tournament. They're getting 8.5 points at Michigan State, 16-6. Pomeroy ranking of 9. The records are identical, virtually. So why in the hell are we taking Michigan State? Well, we are. It's hard to win on the road in the Big Ten. And these superstar coaches, that's where they make their money. You know, they get that big crowd in there, and you got your wealthy alumni in there, and the students, and that's that wild atmosphere in these home arenas in conference where there ain't going to be an empty seat in that place, and they're going to be ready. Oh yeah, that's going to be a tough place for Penn State to go in there and play well. Plus Michigan State's coming off a loss, a 1-point loss at Wisconsin. No shame there. That's one that could have gone either way. We think Michigan State's just a little better than Penn State. Plus, we actually think we are catching a half-decent home court advantage here. Michigan State and Tom Izzo, 2 stars to get it done at home over Penn State. All right, number next. Mississippi State, 14-7. Oh, I forgot to write that down. They're 35 according to Pomeroy. And listen up, I know there's a wormhole there as far as lighting goes, but I'll read it to you. Mississippi State, 14-7, 35 Pomeroy ranking, getting 5 at Rupp Arena, Kentucky, 16-5, 36. Again, teams identical, pretty much according to Pomeroy. We do not think these teams are identical. Kentucky's better than Mississippi State, and that's the way we're playing it. Two stars there. I did see a decent amount of the Auburn-Kentucky game. I was impressed by Kentucky. They hung in there pretty well, despite the fact that the referees blew the whistle every other second against them. We think that they're going to have enough to get done at home against Mississippi State. All right, 3 more over here. We got Texas Tech, 13-8, 22. They are 7.5 point favorites at home over Oklahoma. We saw Oklahoma earlier in the year against a depleted Kansas team, and they were in Norman, and they didn't look good at all to us. I mean, that was just sort of and by us, I mean me. So they just, we're taking Texas Tech here. Taking Texas Tech. Yes, 2 stars for Texas Tech. Colorado State out of the Mountain West, they're 16-8, 88. They're road favorites, 2.5 point road favorites at Fresno State. Fresno's 8-14, 147. We like playing against Fresno at home. They had this huge freaking arena, which they fill about 1/3, maybe 40%. We think it's very depressing to the home team. And we're going to take Colorado State here for 2 stars. And finally, this is just almost a pure hunch play. We like Buzz Williams. We like him at Texas A&M. Conzo Martin, not so much at Missouri. A&M got it done up there at Columbia about a week or 2 ago, and now they're turning back around. Normally, we would probably look at this and go, yeah, that's Missouri there. They're going to go down in there and make their adjustments and, get their vengeance. We're going to say Texas A&M is going to beat them again. This is, again, kind of just a hunch. 1 star. That's how confident we're feeling in our hunches at the moment. So, to recap, where are we? Ball State, 2 stars. Georgia Tech, 1 star. Michigan State, 2 stars. Kentucky, 2 stars. Texas Tech, 2 stars. Colorado State, 2 stars. Texas A&M, 1 star. That's what we got. So it is written, so it shall be done. All right, thanks for being here. I hope to see you again. I think, where are we at now? I think we're all the way up to 15 subscribers. I haven't checked the weekend statistics lately. I did notice that seems like the views are higher during the week than they are on weekends, which just kind of leads me to believe that everybody checks this out at work because you don't like working that much and you're there to watch me. I'm okay with that, if that's what you're doing. So, no problem. So, very good. There you have it. Eric Arnold giving you some free handicapping picks. Good evening.